Hey guys, Mario here, otherwise known as Y2M's. So we made it to another Halloween, and you know, even though I'm getting older and I'm way past that whole trick-or-treating bit, it's more for my nephew and my little sister now, I still love this holiday about as much as I did when I was a kid. I think it's because of my interest in the paranormal. I think that's has a lot to do with it. When I was a kid, I used to watch the X-Files all the time, and there was a show on called Sightings, which basically was a paranormal news report show, and both of those things got me so hyped about Halloween. And there was like a ton of cartoons about, you know, Halloween. Like Disney had when they were still showed Disney cartoons, they had Halloween themed cartoons. I know Warner Brothers, you know, I know Looney Tunes had a couple, and just about every popular cartoon at the time had a Halloween special going on. And of course the hit Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Now, despite of what you may think about the show, I still love watching those. Some of them are duds, but for the most part, I still enjoy watching them. I think this year was pretty good, especially with the Paranormal Activity knockoff. That was pretty fun. But yeah, it's always, I don't know. It's just the fact that I'm interested in the paranormal, and the fact that there's people that report seeing all these weird, mysterious things, and Halloween to me is basically the one night of the year where it's totally okay to be in that, like without feeling like you're ridiculed, without feeling like you're the odd man out. You know, everybody has their own different reasons for celebrating the day, but for me, that's what it's about. As a kid, one of my traditions was every year I would get a piece of paper and I would draw a map of the city, of my city, and I would basically, instead of doing boring old regular landmarks, I would just make up stuff like, you know, basically saying that my town is the most scariest town out there. I basically would make like UFO Mountain, House on Haunted Hill. Yes, I knew about references even back then. What else? Like, I would make fun of my friends too. Like, my friend Ben, I would be like Ben's House of Hermitage or House of the Damned. Or, you know, I would be cute, and I would make a map. And every year I would always finish that map, and on Halloween I would always show it to my mom or to my friends or whoever wanted to just see me go crazy with the holiday. It wasn't about the costumes, it wasn't about the candy, that was all secondary to me. It was just the day itself just really excited me. And now that I'm this age and, you know, having to deal with a nephew and a little sister, they're at school right now, but obviously I'll be out for a little bit, taking them trick-or-treating. It's different. I mean, it's not ruined for me. I'm still gonna watch scary movies. That's still gonna happen. And even though I'm not a kid, I like to pass on traditions. One of my favorite ones was the Scary Stories trilogy. Do you remember these books by Alvin Schwartz? I loved these books, and I still love these books. That's why I have them in my hand. I used to love it when they were read to me, and I'm gonna continue that tradition by, you know, reading a few scary stories to the kids later tonight. I really love these books. These books scared me, and not necessarily because of the stories themselves. I mean, the stories were scary in itself, but the artwork was just so terrifying. It was so, I remember as a 9-year-old kid, when I picked these books up for the first time, I was so scared. I could not go to sleep. There was one night where I literally had to sleep with my mom. I could not, I couldn't go to sleep. Every noise I heard in the house, I imagined was something that was about to pop out in the next 3 seconds. These books were awesome, and I'm a little disturbed that the newest editions of these books, like they toned down the artwork, like it doesn't look as scary anymore. And I'm like, that's not the point. You completely destroyed the point. It looks like tonight I'll have a lonely Halloween. I mean, I will be with the kids, and I'll hang out with my mom. But it's not my friends. They're not my friends. My friends are either working or are out doing their own things or being parents themselves. Which one of the things that I used to like to do is having movie night, and I love those. And I'm still gonna continue that tradition. I'm just gonna watch them for myself. I have Netflix. I have a few DVDs lying about. It's gonna happen. Would have been nice to have a companion or two to enjoy the fun together, but whatever. There's always next Halloween. So I guess my question is for you guys is why do you celebrate Halloween? What is it that makes this day special for you? It would be nice if you guys shared with me and the rest of us why you enjoy this holiday. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope you guys have a safe and happy Halloween. Enjoy the scares, and remember, keep it in good fun. I'm Y2M, and I'm out. Hello, friends. Y2M here, once again in the dark. And welcome to another creepypasta tale. Tonight, I'm going to give you not one, but two creepypasta tales. Because I want to double the horror. And also because I was a little bit lazy and forgot to post the latest one last weekend. Tonight, I will talk about the demonic Hotel Mario and Suicide Mouse. Let's get to it, boys and girls. First, let's talk about Demon Hotel Mario. So, there's this kid named Bill. Old-fashioned parents who gave him an old-fashioned name. Bill's parents were terrible at getting him gifts. He wanted a video game system, a brand new one, like an Xbox 360. He got a CDI. Undeterred, he asked if he could get a good game, a fun game. So his parents went around town to look for a game they can get on the cheap, because they were also cheap parents as well. They stumbled upon an old man who had this disc. When they asked him if they played on the CDI, he's like, sure, just get it out of my sight. I don't want this thing in my house ever again. Bill's parents brought him the game later. All it said was Hotel Mario written on the disc. Bill popped in the game. The animated cutscenes were terrible, just like he expected. Except when he got into the middle of the cutscene, it glitched and everything went black. Nothing happened for a few minutes until the image came back and the music became distorted. Almost very creepy-like. And then Mario and Luigi were walking down to the hotel, except the hotel was a burnt down shack. He saw that Mario's eyes became just pitch black. He saw that Mario found Luigi's impaled body. Bill was getting freaked out at this point. Even more so that Mario seemed to take delight in seeing his dead brother impaled. There's a cutscene that normally would have shown Bowser sticking his head out of a fence, but what it showed instead was Bowser's severed hand, covered in blood, and blood all over the wall. Princess Peach was standing on a pipe and waved at Mario, until everything blinked for a second, and when it blinked back, all that was on the pipe was blood covered everywhere. Mario began to read a paper and it blinked. Dead. Death. Mario began to read in tongues also as well at this point. Bill was getting really freaked out and he tried to turn off the game, but he couldn't. And Bill could do nothing but helplessly watch on as these horrendous scenes continued to play out. Bill tried to reach for the plug and unplugged it, but it still kept going. Finally, the last thing he saw, Mario's eye was popped out of its socket. As he was stabbed, the knife was still sticking in him. And this demonic voice just shuddered in tongues. And then everything went to black. Bill was deathly scared until he opened the door in his bedroom. And instead of seeing his parents, because he heard footsteps coming up the stairs, found Mario staring right at him. And he reached him. And the last thing Bill thought before the end is, my parents are awful. Alright, so that one was a little humorous. But then let's get to Suicide Mouse, shall we? So there was this kid named Tommy. And he was an average kid, just like your average teenage kid. Except he had a knack for making fun of people who like Disney. For some reason, he liked to poke fun at Disney. Which of course isn't a bad thing. A lot of us do that all the time. But he seemed to have a special hatred for anything Disney. There was some teenage goth girls he would pick on the most because those were the hardcore Disney fans in his neighborhood. Eventually the girls got tired and basically threatened to curse him or to deal him a horrible fate if he wouldn't stop. Naturally, Tommy did not stop. So the girls decided to send him an email with the message, "You'll appreciate Disney one way or another soon enough. You shouldn't have made fun of us or Disney." Tommy, of course, laughed it off. The following night, he got an email. It was unmarked. There was no return address. It just said, "Suicide Mouse. Tommy saw Mickey Mouse walking down this street." The buildings were drawn terrible. Even he knew that Disney had a certain quality. And this cartoon just lacked it. Everything just looked twisted and just wrong. And Mickey just kept walking and walking down the street. Except there was occasional noises every few minutes. The picture would get blurry or it would black out or things would start happening. And then this weird, psychedelic, yet somehow scary music would keep playing. Tommy wanted to stop watching it, but he just couldn't. He was entranced. Also, he was trying to make heads or tails with what was going on. Mickey's eyes became distorted and it looked like they were leaking out and dripping down. And Tommy was scared, but somehow he couldn't stop. He was compelled to finish watching this. And he heard noises, he heard whispers, he heard things that shouldn't have belonged in this cartoon. It terrified him so, but again, he couldn't stop. It was like he was compelled to continue. Then the video ended, and Tommy went straight to bed, not saying a word. All he had was a blank stare in his eyes. The following day, the neighborhood kids noticed something different about Tommy. He looked just dead on the inside. And all he kept whispering is, M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E. The neighbors couldn't make heads or tails of it, neither could his parents. Whenever someone would talk to him, all he would say was, M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E. Tommy was never seen again after a week. The only trace of Tommy was a note that spelled out M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E. Now, how'd you like those tales? They were quick, to the point, but the point was made nonetheless. For Hotel Mario, well, I cannot say if it's true or not. But if you would like to know what it looks like, if you would like visuals, check out this link that pops up somewhere. It'll take you to a video on YouTube that'll show you. And as for Suicide Mouse, well, believe it or not, the video does exist, and it is indeed 9 minutes long, and it does contain all the things I spoke about. Rumor has it that it drives people to insanity, or even to take their own life. View it if you dare. The link is up right now. So, what do you think? Do you think any of these tales have any